All right, you're welcome. You're welcome. It's a great pleasure to have you here. But before I open your mic, I would like to read a short bio about you. I've compressed it, not to worry. It's not going to be long. Today, I'm honored to welcome JCI Senator Rania Haddad. She is a project management professional at American University of Beirut Medical Center with degrees in engineering, business administration, and a professional diploma in AI and data science. Since joining JCI Lebanon as founding member in 2005, she has held numerous leadership roles, including National President, JCI Vice President for Africa and Middle East, and Executive Vice President. She has been recognized multiple times globally for the outstanding contribution from peace initiative to sponsorship, and even chaired JCI 100 anniversary celebration, which I think is a is a huge duty, man. A true example of visionary leadership. Please welcome with me, Rania Haddad. You're welcome.
Good afternoon, Coach Temi. Thank you for having me today.
All right, so we've had conversations, behind the scenes, and I really appreciate the way you look at things, which I want to dive into today. But before we start, how was your day?
Busy?
Awesome.
Hectic.
Wow.
I
That
hope
means
yours
it's
was
a
smooth.
yeah, so that means it's a great privilege having you today, despite your busy and hectic schedule.
Thank you. I feel privileged. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. So I've read a short bio of you, but for people living under the rock, those are the people that do not know you. Who is Ranian?
Just a simple lady. um, you mentioned the degrees that I pursued and about my professional life. And I've been a member of JCI ever since 20 years ago, an active member and an active alumni member as well. And it has really been a pleasure being part of this life changing organization. I attribute a lot of what I know and how I have been shaped to this beautiful organization. So, yeah, that's basically me in a nutshell.
All right, thank you so much for that. Quite simple. So let's go back to how you joined JCI. You joined JCI in 2005, JCI Lebanon to be precise. How did that happen? Were you dragged? So I've had interviews with some people. Some people were forced to join JCI. So what's your own story?
Okay, my story is a funny one. Um, one of my past university classmates, she got married to this gentleman, and I would go and visit them. And every time I would go to their house, I hadn't heard of JCI before. He would keep on talking about this organization, and he would use the JCI jargon. So for me, it like got really boring. And so I told her, next time I come, please let me know when your husband is not in the house. So one day he came and he told us we were like younger. I'm not too old, but I was younger back then. We were in, she and myself were in our late 20s. And he told us that he and his friend are planning to attend the World Congress in Vienna in Austria. That was in 2005. So, two ladies in their late 20s, and you tell them about Vienna, it felt like a dream. So, we agreed that we would go with both gentlemen, and that was a turning point for me. And ever since then, I caught the JCI virus.
Wow. So I like that you got the JCI virus. That's cool. That's cool. So you mentioned how you traveled to Vietnam. What was that? Was there a challenge traveling for that trip? Looking at the fact that it's a distance from where you were staying then.
To Vienna?
Yeah.
No, not really. On the contrary, it was very nice, very smooth. We passed by Paris with a friend over there, and then she joined us. She's not a JCI friend. She joined us for the Congress, and we spent a few days after in Vienna, like to take a look at the city. On the contrary, it was very smooth and very nice.
Okay, so was it by road you went or by air?
No, by air. We can't go from Lebanon to Austria in Europe by road.
Yeah, so I was asking because you were still very young then. Was finance, catering for your trip, was it a challenge then?
Not really. I had started working as soon as I graduated. It wasn't a big deal. So I think we either flew directly to Paris and then we went by train. I can't really remember back then, but it's not like if we're going from Beirut to New York or from to Asia, somewhere in Asia, then it's like much farther and like it would be much more costly. So I remember it was something relatively reasonable. And by the way, the mug
Of
I'm drinking in, you just reminded me. We were having dinner, and then after that, in Austria, they have this. I'll remember the name. Typical dessert. A cake with something hot to drink, and I fell in love with the mug. And I asked the restaurant if I can take it, and they said yes. So I took it with me.
Are you
So it currently
serious?
here's with me. Yes.
Wow, that was quite funny. That was quite funny. So looking back, because what I want us to do is just to reflect on your journey, the funny aspect, the challenging aspect, the not so good aspect. I want you to try to remember them bit by bit. So looking back, you've been active in JCI and probably leading one road or the other while you were still very young. How was it like taking leadership positions?
Yes, it was quite an interesting experience. I remember it with good memories, mainly good memories. Now, I come from a conservative family, and sorry, excuse the noise of the ambulance. So, and initially, like I'm a very shy person initially, like before. Okay, I still am to a certain extent, but not like back then. So I did not really have that exposure. I did not get an opportunity back then before getting in touch with people from different parts of the world. So in the beginning, it was like so different, and I felt a bit intimidated, like very, very shy. And then when I started as a founding national board member, so my friend's husband, after we came back from the Congress and we enjoyed ourselves and we learned a lot, and we got an idea of what the organization is about. He is the main co-founder of JCI in Lebanon. So he invited me to join him and some of his friends on the founding national board. So most of them, they were older than me. There was only, I think, one person who was younger than me, but the others were like well-established gentlemen. He used to work in Thomson Reuters. Others would work in other multinational companies. They were all senior managers in their companies. One of them was a professor at the American University of Beirut. So all of them were quite well established and exposed. So when we would conduct a meeting, I would really feel intimidated because, like, maybe if he would do like a round table for us to give our opinions. He was the national president in 2006. And so, even if I had something additional to add, I would be a bit afraid that it might not be right, like in front of all these established men. I was the only lady
Mhm.
among them, by the way. So
Wow.
well, one of them was like, he was around 39, very mature, very kind, very nice. And he treated me like a big brother. So anything he would say, I would just say, I second what Habib says.
Wow.
So later on, when they approached me in 2007, now you know more about the organization. How about considering going to the JCI Academy, maybe becoming president next year? And I said, no, I freaked out. No, I cannot do that. I don't know. I don't know much about leadership. I need to learn more. if you ask me to sit in front of a minister and like talk about the organization, then I will not be able to do that. So this is a part in me that got much better in the organization after learning, after serving in different positions, in different teams. Definitely, you get out of your comfort zone and you learn a lot. It is a school in life.
Awesome, awesome. So I believe there are many people like you that are quite very shy, um, and they've not been able to get over it. How were you able to navigate yourself to get over your shyness, and what would you advise them to do?
Well, I think mentorship is very important. That gentleman was my personal mentor. He was my mentor, the mentor of his wife. She later on also became a national president. And there was another lady who we collaborated with to establish a local organization. She was their neighbor in the north. So he mentored all three ladies of us, and he was a really, really good mentor. And I really learned proper leadership from him. He opened my eyes to many things, and he taught us about, like in every institution, like in every company, like in every organization around the world, profit or non-profit, there are the politics of that organization. I learned them from him. And then in 2008, he became a vice president and into JCI vice president, and he was assigned to Europe. So every official visit he would go, he would share with me. I was National Secretary General. You know what, Rania, this national organization is doing this. This might be a good practice that we might adopt back home, or we might customize and see what how it fits our own like community. And so he really opened my eyes. So all these learnings, I took them from him and I applied to my mentees later on in my JCI journey. So mentorship is
Oh,
very
awesome.
important in our organization. And I always tell the people who ask me maybe to mentor them, to coach them, from young members in the organization to members of the International Board of Directors. So, if heads of states, if ministers, if members of parliament have teams of advisors, then why would we not be humble enough in our organization to have people who you can refer to, people who have walked that road before you and who are willing to share your experience, of course, whenever you ask them. So, definitely, this is a game changer.
Awesome. So you mentioned mentorship, and I want to lean on that a little. Two questions. Your own mentorship came without you looking for it. It came, just happened, and you just lean into it and you took it up. For people that have issues with getting to know, okay, who can mentor me, should you choose mentor at random, or should you look for somebody that is doing something similar in your local organization, or do you even advise that some people should go for people international for them to be mentored?
Well, there's no right or wrong over here. It cannot really be random. It has to be someone you look up to, someone who inspires you, someone who has knowledge. If you're seeking a mentor in your domain in business or in JCI, it should be someone who is really knowledgeable about that thing, the institution that you are in. So this is point number one. Point number two, if you some people come from a small national organization, for instance, it happened JCI Lebanon, although we are preparing to celebrate our 20th anniversary next year, but it is a small national organization. It's smaller than JCI ASO or JCI ECHO in JCI Nigeria.
I guess.
So it happened that my mentor Rami, and he later on became uh, 2011 JCI Executive Vice President. This was the highest position he served in. So it happened that he understood the system and he was ambitious and worked on himself and he lifted others with him. Some people who belong to small national organizations don't have this privilege. So there's no harm when you travel and you attend international JCI events and you get to know other international officers. from other parts of the world, if there are people you look up to, who you feel you trust, who you feel like they are a muse for you, then you can approach them and tell them, if you don't mind, I'd like to come back to you every now and then to ask you some questions. And they would, I personally, when someone approaches me, whichever the country that is, whether from our area or outside, I really feel privileged. And I feel that, okay, I am above 40, above JCI age, and I have all this experience. Why not put it to use? Why throw it away? If someone would like to benefit, I'll be happy to share. But of course, you cannot enforce yourself on others as a mentor. This is
Yeah.
something you have to understand well.
Perfect. So I can attest to that when I reached out to you, you made it very easy for me to communicate with you. I mean, I felt very welcome. I can attest to that. So I can confirm that anybody reaching out to you will get your audience. I know you are very busy, despite that, you still make our time to attend to people and answer their questions. Thank you so much for that. So, still
You're
talking
welcome.
about mentorship. Hmm. So I have a question here. But let me, before I get into that, you served as national president and you've gone to serve as JCI Executive Vice President. So in between those years, you've also served in different capacity. Which one stretched you the most? If you ask me, I would have said perhaps JCI Executive Vice President. But I want you to speak to that.
Stress, I don't really see it as stress. It was something beautiful. All those positions, I learned different things in them. I got different exposure. They were really something that I enjoyed. So I consider them on the contrary. Some people ask me, which is your favorite? Or what do you regret? The only thing I regret in the organization is I never got a chance to serve as a local president because I started on the national board of directors as a founding member. And you really learn proper leadership as a local president because
Wow.
the local board, they are the frontliners. They are the ones who are going to create the projects, of course, in collaboration with their members, keep the people motivated, deliver results. What are we without projects? How can you maintain members if you don't have projects, if you don't have impact on the ground? So they are okay, national board members are very important and they do strategy, etc., but the heart, the essence, are the members and the projects and the local organizations. So this is something that I regret. If you ask me which one is my favorite among all the positions I served in, also each one has its own taste. As a JCI vice president, it was beautiful. It was my first time. I was assigned to three African countries in the south: Zimbabwe, Mauritius, and South Africa. And I was assigned to five Arabic speaking countries: Syria, Jordan. We had Egypt back then, Tunisia, and Morocco. It was my first time traveling to an African country on my own, and it was beautiful. It was out of this world. As an EVP, it was amazing to lead the whole area, to chair the conference, do site inspection visit, etc. Do impactful meetings with governmental officials in order, like, to waive applying for visas and let everyone get them upon arrival at the airport, so you can make a difference. Like leading the 100th anniversary celebrations committee, it was something we were doing for the first time in JCI, and everyone wanted to be part. I would receive messages every single day on Facebook, on Instagram. How can we be part of your team? Because we were a dynamic committee and we were doing all sorts of things throughout the year. So each one of them has its own taste. I definitely do not consider them as stress factors at all.
So I was coming to the 100th anniversary. In my head, I'm thinking it must be one of the biggest events you've handled because thinking of it, it has never happened before. And I want you to just run your mind through all the preparation. What what was in your mind where you were while you were preparing? I believe this will give some context to people sharing some other project in their organization.
It was something big, as you mentioned, like really, really big. And because we didn't do, like, if you become a JCI vice president, you know, there you have to do official visits, you have to finish before the area conference, you have to attend the area conference, national president's meeting, World Congress, etc. There are a set of like guidelines. They have been there for quite some time. Definitely, you can add your own touch, but in general, it's fixed. There's a specific pathway. Here it was brand new, and alumni, members, stakeholders, everyone had high hopes. And wow, 100th anniversary is like really something big. So I remember I had a nice committee, two representatives from each area. They were eight plus myself, nine. And it was the flagship project for the year. So, world headquarters were assisting in that. And we did a lot of research in the beginning. I read a lot about other NGOs, other institutions, what they did when they celebrated their 100th anniversary, just to get an idea of what usually is done and how can we customize it to JCI. And we wanted to involve members, just like what happened this year with the competition for the 110th anniversary logo. We did that. We launched a competition. Um, and there was a winner, etc. And we did all sorts of things. So it was really big. It was really nice. And the more you did, the more it would pump you up to do more. And then the launching was at the World Congress in Leipzig. It was beautiful. It was really a nice experience. And the team, like there was a lady from Argentina, there was someone from USA, someone from Switzerland, someone from Japan, people who think totally differently. So you had to get all their input because everyone is excited, everyone wants to add their own touch, and at the same time come up with something that is befitting of such a legacy.
Hmm.
So I remember it very fondly.
So I like your line of memory about the things you've done in the past. One part I would like you to really speak to are the challenges. So I'm just thinking, managing you've been working with people all these years, especially people from different time zones, black, white, yellow, blue, if they are such kind of people. So managing people, how has it been for you? Are there some challenges that you would like to pour out?
Now, definitely, you learn proper leadership in our organization. So, I always tell our members or whomever I'm mentoring or coaching that there is a reason that you cannot become a world president at 25. There is an age. There is an age. With all due
Wow.
respect to everyone, some people can be more mature at 25 than in their 40s. Trust me.
Mm,
But at the same time, there is a specific reason why there is this JCI career ladder from 18 till 40 years old. Every single position you serve in, you learn a different skill mix. You become better.
mm,
You get better leading people as a local president, as a national president, if you're an AMDEC counselor and you work on establishing a national organization in another country, people who come from a different background. If you consider you and your siblings at home, you were raised by the same father and mother, you ate the same food, they brought you up under the same rules at home, but each one is different, total different personality. So if you're dealing
yeah.
with people from a different city in your country, they're different. How about if you're dealing with people from different countries in the world? So through all the positions I served in, through all the leadership positions, I really learned a lot. So you learn people skills, you learn psychology, you learn how to read in between the lines. I cannot say it was, how can I, it's not, um, I don't want you to feel that all my answers are utopic. It's just that the good things were way more than the bad things that happened.
Yeah.
If there were bad things, there were very, very, very few. Or I'm too passionate about the organization that I tend to see the positive side most of the time in the things.
Yeah.
But with
True.
time, I did learn. So I tried my best. Sometimes I would refer to my mentor if like things got a bit complicated, um, or to our international advisor. He also played a key role. But with time, you learn. You learn how people from different countries, from different areas, like you learn how to motivate them, how to create like less conflicts.
Yeah.
What matters and
So
what does not matter.
yeah. So you can tell right now that I like to lean on proclivity. You've mentioning learn, learn, learn. How do you learn? You personally, how do you learn?
Whether from experiences, something that you go through, you apply, and then you learn. Like if I did this and it turned out to be very good, then maybe next time I can do it again. Or I did that and it could have been better. So next time there is something I should do different. Or I refer to people who were there before me and I ask them.
Mm. So I can tell that number one, you reflect a lot on what you've done. That helps you know what you should have done better. Then you also, I think you are very big on mentorship. You always ask questions. So having the right questions helps you and guide you.
You have to be humble enough to listen. No matter how good you are, no matter how successful you prove to be, if you're not humble enough to listen, then this is a problem because you will not learn properly.
Yeah, wow, wow, wow. So you've been awarded most outstanding on different levels, different capacities. Before this podcast, we've had few conversations and I noticed few things about you. Are you conscious of what you were doing that made you stand out or you just came?
Um, I put my heart into it.
Is that all?
Um, when you believe in something, when you love something, when you're passionate about something, some people out, or I always receive this question, um, how did you find the time? Or how do you still find time? Like you're even above JCI age and you are still hosted, you still say yes, you conduct trainings, you mentor others, you go and attend international events. I like the organization, I believe in its mission. So
Mm,
I did put my heart into it and I enjoyed what I was doing. I was learning from what I was doing. So then you give more.
mm. So what's the best advice you have ever received? Now I want you to think about this very well. What's the best advice?
I've shared this story several times before. I remember I was Africa and Middle East Development Counselor in 2010. And back then, we didn't have National Presidents Meeting. We adopted this in 2013 in JCI, in Africa and the Middle East. So we used to have AMDEC meetings. AMDEC is divided into 5 regions: North, South, West, East, and Center. So each region would host sometime between January and February an AMDEC meeting in one of the countries belonging to that region. So in 2010, we were hosting it in Beirut, in my country, and I was the chairperson. And I remember we had different guests, both from Africa and the Middle East, and because it is also an exotic destination for Europeans. So we had some Europeans coming to attend our event as well. And our international advisor was, who is now senior advisor, Pamphile Joffon from Benin. He came, he graced us with his presence, and he came to the event. And I remember right before the opening, I was running around, stressed out, ensuring everything is okay, coordinating with the people, but the stress was clear on me, on my face. And then um, advisor Pamphile back then went to Rami, my mentor, and told him that your daughter, it means his daughter in JCI, is too stressed out and it's clear on her face and members can see it.
Mhm.
Tell her that she's
Wow.
not supposed to show it. And so Rami
Wow.
came and told me later on. And ever since that day, even if I'm dying inside, I don't show it when I'm responsible for something. So I consider
Wow.
this
That's
very valuable.
but looking at it, taking a second thought at it, do you think is good for you?
What is good?
You are dying inside and you're not. What if something bad happens?
No, dying inside is maybe an overstatement, but I mean, no matter how stressed you are about you. Maybe you are the COC director of an event, you are the master of ceremony, and there are things that are like not on time, etc. Um,
Oh,
it's always good to be in control of your game. You can go and relax later on. Then you can go and lock up in your room. If you want to cry, you can cry. You can talk to someone. You can do whatever you like. But when you are responsible, you imagine yourself if you are reporting to your boss at work, and then that person is stressed out and they can barely focus and they're shouting and they're screaming. And then there's another person who is in a very stressful situation, but they are in control of themselves. They are able to
yeah,
concentrate, to focus. They are able to properly talk with the people. They are able to properly get things done. So they are much more capable of delivering. So it's totally different.
awesome.
You would look up more to the person who is in control of themselves than to the person who is stressed out and who is freaking out. This is what I mean dying inside.
All right. So thank you for the clarification because it's very, very important. So you meant being in control of every situation, even when you are not sure exactly how it will go. At
Not the
least,
situation, but
mm,
yourself. Because sometimes if like
yeah.
if an earthquake happens, what can I do? How can I control the situation?
All right. Wow. Wow. So it starts from leading yourself before you can even lead people. You have to be able to control yourself. Awesome. So I want to okay before I go into Lebanon, when people come to you for mentorship, do you have steps to take them through? Because so the thing is that I know you can't mentor everybody. Some people will come just to take away your time. They will distract you unnecessarily. At the path you take people through to be able to ensure that you have done your best with them.
There aren't really specific guidelines because it depends on the person. Some people
Mm,
might need just a small push, some others need more intensive work. And I don't remember having been in a situation where there was someone coming to waste my time. Like, nowadays everyone is busy and everyone has many things to do. So if they at least so far, the people who have approached me, whether in my national organization or from outside of it, they were to a certain extent serious. So it depends on the person. Then I figure out, or I try to figure out, like how to open their eyes.
okay. Okay. So I researched a little about Lebanon. I've not been there before. For Nigerians that are watching this right now or that probably might be watching later, tell us about Lebanon. What do you think we should know about?
It's the most beautiful country in the world, with all its trouble.
No, no, no. I won't take that. I won't take that. You've been to Nigeria before. You know how beautiful Nigeria is. You've been to Abuja.
Yeah,
So be
by the way,
sincere.
happy
Tell us about
Independence
Lebanon.
Day. I heard you are celebrating your Independence Day today, so happy Independence
Yeah.
Day to all Nigerians.
Thank you.
Well,
Thank you.
Lebanon is definitely a country, how can I say? Um, it has had a troubled history, okay, because of its geographic uh, position between the East and the West. There were many countries historically and different civilizations that were interested. I was, by the way, conducting a session on Sunday morning to a local organization from India called JCI Tripprayar, and they wanted it to be a cultural session, um, not about a self-development topic, uh, but they chose that I speak about Lebanon. So I was researching all the weekends, and so the question is very relevant right now. So historically, we've been through a lot of turbulence. Many civilizations came, settled here, or occupied our country. We got our independence back in 1943 from the French, and we're going to be celebrating it on November 22. And ever since 1943, many things have happened in our country. Others wars broke out. From 1975 till 1990, imagine 15 consecutive years. We had a civil war. We currently have a partial war from our southern neighbors. Um, it was a very turbulent history, but this um, gave people resilience. People
Mm,
became very resilient. So, Lebanese or Lebanon, it has always been known as the Switzerland of the Middle East. Beirut, our capital city, is very well known as Paris of the Middle East. It's
yeah.
filled with natural things, places you can go to. Although it's small, it's 10,452 square kilometers, but there are plenty of things to do. There are plenty of things to see. The coast is from the north till the south. You can cross it in 3 hours. You would have crossed all Lebanon. And it's on the
Wow.
Mediterranean Sea. There are many activities that can be done like in the sea. Many archaeological sites to visit, many sites that are listed on the UNESCO heritage list because they are preserved. Um, People are known for their hospitality because tourism is a main economic pillar in
Yeah.
Lebanon. We have delicious food. So people love the food over here. So I personally am in love with my country with all the troubles that it has. I love Lebanon. That's why I see it. I've been to more than around 43 countries in the world.
Wow.
No place can beat my Lebanon. With
I
all due respect,
agree. You have it. All
in
right.
my
So I
eyes,
also want to ask, in your eyes, it's accepted. I want to ask, are there ways um, Nigerians can collaborate with Lebanon? So when I say that, I mean for Nigerians, especially Gen Zs that are just coming up, they like to work remotely. Perhaps there are opportunities in Lebanon that Nigerians can tap into or connect to. Do you have anything to say about that?
yes, I think nowadays, especially after COVID-19 and when remote working became uh, much, it's different than before. So it was a turning point in the history of mankind. Now, for instance, I studied at the American University of Beirut, which is one of the most prestigious universities in the region. It dates back to 1866. We have a student body of, and I work there, I work at their medical center. So we have a student body of more than 8,000 students coming from, I think, more than 80 different countries, and many of them are also African countries. There are all sorts of scholarship programs that allow students to come and to get proper good education without their parents having to sell a kidney or break their bank account. So this is one of the opportunities, and I even know like there are 70 or 80 student clubs on campus. There are some African clubs or student societies over there, so this gives you an idea. This is one way. For instance, some young Nigerians might like to come experience the country and the education over here. As you mentioned, maybe online working, there are all sorts of maybe different jobs that you can find online. And depending on whatever experience that company or that person has, then maybe they can seal a deal. So this is how I see it.
Yeah, thank you. So talking about that, you have career around engineering, business, artificial intelligence, and data science. But before I go into that, let me talk about how JCI has impacted your personal, not personal life now, personal businesses. How were you able to manage making money and running JCI?
Well, when you're passionate about something, then you make time for it. So I'm an employee, I'm not an entrepreneur. And as an employee, you have a limited number of days off that you can take throughout the year. So what I would do is I always I'm very cautious about how I take my days off. Most of them are reserved for the area conference, the national president's meeting. If I have, sometimes I'm invited because I have an assignment, like to lead the JCI Rise Academy at the NPM, etc., or at the World Congress. So I don't just take my days off just maybe to go shopping or just to enjoy a day off at home. No, I study them very well. And with time, the rule here is like the number of days off increases. The more years you serve in that institution, you get more. So I tried to manage, and because it impacted me, JCI, and the experience there on a personal level, then it gives you added value among your colleagues. You have a different way of dealing with people. You have a different way. You learn in JCI how to conduct a meeting, how to come out of a meeting with action points that you're going to have to follow up because you have to deliver. And over there, you're doing it for free. Here, you're doing it, you're getting paid, and you are interested in
Hmm.
getting promoted, etc. Over there, you're doing it in your free time. And worst come to worst, if you fight with someone, if there's something you don't like, just turn your back and you leave. There are other NGOs where you can go and invest your time in. So you learn a lot of things that impact you on a personal level, which you can also apply at work.
Yeah. So talking
That's why they
about
call it a school in
impact.
life.
Yeah. So talking about impact JCI has had on you. Did as of during your journey, has JCI really given you opportunities aside learning leadership, opportunities that translated to businesses?
Yes. For instance, there was a recent one, like a couple of years ago. A very good friend from JCI Syria. He used to work as a regional advisor for a Dutch NGO, not as a volunteer, but like professionally. He was a senior executive over there, and they were once. Working with a consultant in Erbil in Iraq. There were three major universities over there where they have these career development centers, and these centers are responsible to arrange for internships for the students. Sometimes it's a requirement if you are, let's say, an engineering student at your third year, you have to go through an internship for like 2 months, otherwise you will not be able to graduate. So these
Yeah.
centers, this is what they're responsible for. However, they were headed by professors at the university. And the bread and butter of a professor is to teach and to do research. They can have administrative positions, they would give them a bit more income, but like their main thing is teaching and doing research and getting promoted from assistant professor to associate professor to a full professor.
Yeah.
So they weren't really doing a very good job. So this consulting company came up with an idea that why don't we come up with student clubs on campus, and these student clubs can really be the backbone of those centers. So my JCI friend approached me and told me, Rania, I have this project and I thought of you because I had previously worked on establishing or contributed in establishing a university chapter at our university. So he told me, you have the
Mm.
experience. I thought of bringing you in as an expert consultant for you to propose a structure for these clubs and to come
Wow.
up with a constitution for them. And because in Iraq, because they went through a dictatorship during the mandate of Saddam Hussein, um, it's not something common to have student clubs on campus. They're not very familiar with that concept. So you finish your classes, you don't really hang around on campus, and then you leave, you go back home. It's not like the regular student life, etc., etc. So it was a beautiful project, and I did it as a consultant, and I was happy because I used my JCI experience in something else. And it was easy. It wasn't difficult because it's something that you know by heart, you have experience in.
Mm-hmm.
So this is
Mm-hmm.
one way it brought me business, if we want to call it
Wow,
business.
awesome. I love that. I love that. So I'm thinking of the best question to ask now. I'm looking at time. I also want to make sure that I don't eat into your time too much. So basically, how do you, I know you've traveled around the world, been to 40 something countries. You've met people that you never knew you met before. I mean, you met people, they greeted you, you can't even remember their name. How do you maintain relationship that you think are important to you? What are the things you do to keep those relationships?
Of course, it's very important to maintain your network, whether you're going to utilize it or not later on, but always engaging with people is enriching. So some of them they become really good friends. For instance, I have one of my best friends is a Nigerian, by the way, from JCI Nigeria.
Tell us,
Not
tell
because you
us.
are from Nigeria, but he's really a special gentleman. So when it's Easter, when it's Eid al-Fitr, Eid al-Adha, Christmas, I open my contact list, and depending on most of them, like their religion, you send a greeting. Those who you become close to, let's say you heard that there was a typhoon in the Philippines, you send out a message. Oh, I heard in the news that this happened. I hope that it's not nearby where you live. Now, with the presence of social media, with the presence of WhatsApp, it's very easy to remain connected. If you see that someone maybe graduated with a new degree and maybe they're in their 50s, like it's an inspiration, then depending on my relationship with that person, I would reach out. It would be a personal message or maybe a call, or if you hear maybe someone lost their father, their mother, someone dear to their heart, you reach out. It's always beautiful to preserve these relationships. I remember when that famous port of Beirut explosion in August 2020, and the whole world heard about it. After all, it was the largest man made explosion in the history of
Wow.
mankind. That day, I
Mm.
remember, without exaggeration, I received between calls, messages on WhatsApp, messages on Facebook Messenger, messages on Facebook, messages on Instagram from around 500 people from different parts of the world because of JCI. So, in such
Wow.
instances, you feel that you really belong to a second family. You don't have
Mm.
blood ties with them, but it is a beautiful family.
Wow. Awesome. I love that. So you've spoken very well about distance relationships. How about relationships that you have now begin to see as very close friends? How do you ensure, despite your busyness, to maintain those relationships? You know,
That,
relationship comes with its own demand. The closer you get, the more the demand.
of course, all relationships in life, it's like a garden. You have to invest time, you have to invest effort. Otherwise, like it's just something regular. So when they are friends, like friends, not really contacts, then if some time passes and you don't hear from them, then I might send a text. Hello, I'm just checking on you. I hope everything is okay. It's been some time. I didn't hear from you. Or I can schedule a call. You have to take initiative. Like sometimes, of course, you get
Mm.
very very busy, but it's impossible that every single day you are 100% busy. Like there will be some time where you might have the luxury of maybe sitting down for half an hour. Maybe you're in the taxi, okay, on your way to
Mm,
somewhere. And if that person means to you, you will find time. I can be waiting for the elevator and text someone,
mm. So
depending on the some.
what I'm picking from this is when you think of someone, the next thing is to reach out to the person.
It's not that the next thing. Sometimes no, some people, you think about them, especially now with social media. You see a post, you see maybe they are tagged in a photo, they were somewhere, they did something, etc. It's not that you directly reach out, no. If it's a friend and it's been some time, or you're just uh, getting in touch the normal way you do with friends, then you reach out. Sometimes no, you just, okay, you read something about them, not necessarily an achievement, they were here, they were there. You don't then reach out to them, so it depends.
I get, I get, I get two more questions and I'll let you go. What are you working on right now that is very important to you? Is there something like that?
um Uh, Yesterday, there's this program where I worked called the Next Generation Leaders Academy, which they had adopted from other universities, like from USA. It's like a nice 1 year program for free at work, where they choose 20 to 25 different people, both from the medical center and the university, staff, faculty members, doctors, I mean, medical doctors. And you learn different types, different things related to leadership and strategies related to the institution you work in. So, this also allows you to grow further at your work. So my boss submitted my application, and I'm hoping it works out and I
It
get accepted.
will. It will. So when
Hopefully,
it works out, we are going to celebrate. How do we celebrate it?
God willing, we celebrate by taking it seriously and learning.
Oh no, 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 no. How do we celebrate this? We need to pop something. Yeah, in Nigeria, you pop champagne.
Oh, we
What do
pop
you pop
champagne
over
here
there?
as well. We pop
Oh,
champagne.
good, good, good. All right, good. Thank you so much. I enjoyed the session I'm having with
Thank
you. So the last question is there something you would have loved to speak about that I probably didn't ask you? Something on your mind generally you would like to speak about?
Something specific? Mm, I can't really think of something specific right now. Okay, the major part of the talk was about JCI, and you
Yeah.
tapped upon different things. Frankly, I can't remember something specific that, like, I really wanted to talk about here.
Okay. So if you meet, what would be your advice to your younger self?
Take things a bit less seriously.
Really?
Some people call me Madame Serious in the organization.
Okay. So are you taking that advice right now? Are you taking the advice right now?
With time, I learned that you can, of course, without impacting your values, the quality of your work, etc. There are levels of taking things seriously. You don't. It's not always the extreme. There are gray zones.
Mm.
It's not only black or white.
You are still taking things seriously, I tell you. And I'm going to mention someone's name and I will report you to the person. Should I go ahead?
Report me.
Yes. I will
Report
tell the
me with
person to
this.
tell
It
you.
has a negative
Yeah, yeah,
connotation.
yeah. No, no, no. I'll tell the person to tell you to take things, stop taking things seriously. I will reach out to President Pascal.
Okay, we're good friends. Reach out to him. We
So
were together in Abuja and his wife.
exactly. So I'm very close to him. I will tell him to please tell you to please take things easily, easily.
Okay, reach out to him.
All
Pascal is
right.
my
Thank you so
senior.
much.
Uh, I was his Peace is Possible committee chairperson, which was his
Yeah.
flagship program, and definitely he's my senior. So, okay, I will listen to him.
All right. Thank you so much,
Thank you
Senator
for having
Ranyan.
me.
I
I
really
enjoyed it a
appreciate your
lot.
time. I
Thank
hope
you.
you have been able to reflect very well on your past experiences, and I hope that I learned a lot. I hope that you've also thought of some things you probably could adjust on, especially this taking things seriously. When I reach out to you, I'll ask you, are you taking things less seriously now?
Deal.
All right, thank you so much. I will end it here. I really appreciate your time. I do not take you for granted at all. Thank you. Have a blessed day.
Thank you and keep up the good work. Goodbye.
Yeah, thank you.